Hello, so, I've decided that one day you will get the full 2023 films ranking ending. But it is not this day! Because I'm so busy with my master's degree and I want to release more videos, but I also want to finish the rankings so it's out there, and so I made this video. What's going to happen is I'm condensing what I have to say about every film apart from segments that I've already made or really want to talk about. But the few one sentence films will still be one sentence because duh. And the editing will be somewhat less frenetic and hyper, and a bit more mellow for the first few sentences that I'll be talking. There also won't be a gag sound for every film like there was for the previous video, but instead I'll do something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Please stop booing. I somewhat enjoyed myself in this film and I like the animation, but I honestly think that the theatre experience completely tarnished this for me. So, you know, I had a group of talking children open and wave about an umbrella during this film, so no part of me can watch anything from this without starting to get angry. The fight montage is one of the best I've ever seen in an animated film though. No hard feelings. Holy f***, that was her entire vagina. Having Jennifer Lawrence suplex a guy whilst entirely, fully, and unmistakably naked is never not going to get a reaction out of me. And even besides that scene, J-Law is great, as is her male co-star, but outside of those two, I like barely anything about this film. In some respects that's fine because they are the main characters at the end of the day, but it also means that when a scene isn't just those two together, it can be a bit of a drag. Anyone but you. Hey, look, it's like her name. It's Sydney, but in Sydney. Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney are in this movie, and constantly on screen, so it was one of the more pleasant looking films of the year. And their chemistry was so good it allegedly killed two relationships. But I found that this romantic comedy seemed to be lacking the second aspect of that description, which really hurt my enjoyment. Also, apparently this is an adaptation of the Shakespeare play Much Ado About Nothing, which is a play I have not read, seen, or listened to, and I don't think that will change anytime soon. Cat person. I would compare this to the Pillow Party Massacre in that it's a female-centered film that has gone up in my estimations, but that's kind of where the similarities end. And no, the reason is not because I find Emilia Jones attractive. Well, it's not the main reason. I just found that Margot's relationship with Rob is intriguing and disturbing when it needs to be, whilst also being fairly awkward in an intentional way. It seems to be a theme with these films around this level. Good relationships between the main two characters, but absolutely bugger all else to hang your hat on. Hopefully that changes with Wonka. Timma Shimmy Shimmy Ya Shimmy Ya Shimmy Yay is not a good Wonka, which is exacerbated by the fact that this is a stealth musical and he really can't sing. It sounds like I hate him in this, and I don't. I just dislike his casting intently. But Hugh Grant clearly doesn't care, and why is this film so high? Oh yeah, because when Willy Wonka the chocolate maker isn't taking part in slave labor... Have I got the right film? Apparently I have. Well, Olivia Colman, who's in this film for some reason, makes the Wonkaverse slavery somewhat bearable, but when Wonka is out in the world or learning how to read with Noodle, then the story has a great sense of charm to it. Renfield. Having a great premise and then deciding to fuck it completely is a bold strategy, but they clearly attempted it by putting Awkwafina's character in this film, because I came for Nicholas Holt's servitude to Nicolas Cage as Dracula. A lot of Nicholases. It's just a bit of a disappointment. It's like going from Jaws to The Meg 2. Oh, I forgot to talk about The Meg 2. And Joyride. The Meg 2. The Meg 2 is actually a fun watch when they are fighting the shark, but for some reason we have to watch Jason Statham and the gang poorly imitate Mission Impossible. I spent money to watch this in IMAX 3D. Show me Jason Statham fighting a megalodon for sake. It's right in between a Sex Game and the Pillow Party Massacre. Joyride. A joyless, unfunny mess that wastes the talents of its cast and for some reason includes what should be Academy Award winner Stephanie Hsu and 3 other talented actresses. This goes above The Sound of Freedom but below Dumb Money. The Lesson. Richard E. Grant is getting typecast and it is an absolute travesty as that man can act. Everyone else here is good, but he's just operating at a different level. He scares me too. That interview he did about his daughter being a runner made me want to make sure I never get on his bad side. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. A film by Illumination, a video game movie. I guess that you could say that this film is proof that 2 wrongs made a right, because no film that has met one of those 2 criteria has been good for at least a decade, with maybe like 3 exceptions. Asteroid City. Don't shoot me, but I don't think Wes Anderson's style is to my personal taste. Art is subjective and that's definitely what he's making, but besides Fantastic Mr. Fox and the Grand Budapest Hotel, his movies get under my skin to some extent or don't capture my attention in the same ways that I wish they would. But I can still find a ton of things to appreciate even if they don't move me. Past Lives. Please stop screaming at me. The Old Oak. This could have been a lot better if people spoke in sentences and not monologues aimed at the ghost in the distance. And yes, I know that's ironic coming from the guy making a YouTube video of all things, but aside from that, I found it different from a lot of what I watched this year, and so it was somewhat interesting despite its flaws. Next goal wins. Taika Waititi, in my world, has his own personal scale. On the one end is The In-Betweeners USA, a project so bad and offensive that it would single-handedly justify the systemic destruction of the American entertainment industry. And on the other, Jojo Rabbit, a deserving Oscar-winning film. As much as I want every project to stay away from the Thor Love and Thunder side of things, this unfortunately was nearer to that side of the line. It wasn't bad by any means, and maybe I'm expecting more because I love football, but the whole thing felt flat and lifeless. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I didn't care that Harrison Ford looks like a deepfake done on a potato at times. This film was just a bit of fun, even if its score being classed as original was absolutely diabolical. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. It's a Mission Impossible film, so it's always going to be somewhat decent, but this feels like it was being hindered by being a part 1. The stunts were dope as though. Now is when things go from okay or mildly decent to flat out good.